morning, students, and welcome back. Hope you all are fine and safe. Today we are going to study Science 1, lesson number 7, lenses. In that, we will study the remaining topics, that is, apparent size of the object and uses of concave lens. Apparent size of the object. Let us consider two objects PQ and P1Q1 having same size but kept at different place. Object PQ will appear to be greater than the object P1Q1. As shown here in this activity, angle suspended by the object PQ at the eye is greater than the angle suspended by the object P1Q1 at the eye. From this we can conclude that the apparent size of an object depends on the angle suspended by the object at the eye. If the object is nearer to the eye, the angle suspended is greater and hence its observed size is greater. In order to see a small object distinctly, we bring it near to the eye. However, if the object is brought within the distance of the distinct vision, we cannot see it clearly due to the strain on the eye, even though it sustains a large angle at the eye. In short, an object can be clearly seen in its most magnified form when it is at distance of distinct vision from the eye. Sometimes the object is to be seen is so small that we are unable to see it clearly, even it is held at the distance of distinct vision. If we bring it near to the eye, its apparent size increases due to the stain caused to the eye. We cannot see it clearly. This difficulty can be removed by looking at the object through a convex lens held closer to the eye. Come now, let us study the uses of concave lenses. The uses of concave lenses are as follows. 1. Instrument like scanner, CD player and some medical equipments used laser light. For proper working of these equipment, concave lenses are used. We all know about the peephole in a door. It is a small safety device which helps us to see a large area outside the door. This uses one or more concave lenses. Concave lenses are used in spectacles to correct the eye defect called myopia or nearsightedness. Concave lens is used to spread widely the light produced by small bulb inside a torch. Instruments like camera, telescope, microscope mainly use concave lenses. To get good quality images, a concave lens is used in front of the eyepiece or inside it. Let us now know the uses of convex lenses. Uses of convex lenses are as follows. Convex lenses are used in spectacles to correct the defect of vision called hypermetropia. Convex lenses are used in different optical instruments like camera, projector, spectrometer. Convex lenses are used in simple microscope, compound microscope and telescopes. Out of these various instruments, we are now going to study the working of few instruments in details. Let us start with simple microscope. We all know when the object is placed within the focal length of a convex lens, the lens produces a virtual, erect and magnified image on the same side as that of the object. Simple microscope work on this property. A convex lens with smaller focal length produces a virtual, erect and bigger image of small sized object. When an object is placed within the focus of the lens, such a lens is called a simple microscope or magnifying lens. one can get a 20 times larger image of the object using such microscope. Suppose you are given two convex lenses, one having focal length 5 cm and another having focal length of 40 cm. Then which lens will you use as a magnifying lens? The lens with focal length of 5 cm should be used as magnifying lenses. Simple microscope or magnifying lens are used by watchmakers for observing small parts of a watch while cleaning or repairing. Jewelers used it to test precious gems to detect any flaws in them. Next, we will study about the compound microscope. Compound microscope is used to observe small sized object. However, it cannot produce significantly large images of minute or micro objects like blood cells, cells of plants and animals, and minute living beings like bacteria, etc. To study these objects, compound microscope is used. A compound microscope is consist of two concave lenses called the objective and the eyepiece. The objective has smaller cross section and smaller focal length. The eyepiece has bigger cross section. Its focal length is also larger than that of objective. These lenses are fitted inside a metallic tube in such a way that the distance between them can be changed. The axes of both the lenses are along the same line as shown here. The magnification occurs in two stages. The image formed by the first lenses act as the object for the second lenses. In this way, bigger magnification can be obtained by the combined effect of two objects. Let us now study the next topic of lenses, that is persistence of vision. To know the concept, let us now perform some activity. Activity 1. Let us take a burning incense stick. Now let us move rapidly so that it's burning and describing a circle. What do you observe? We observe a complete circle of red light. Let us perform another activity. Activity 2. Let us draw a picture of an empty cage on one side of piece of cardboard. Now let us draw a bird on the other side of cardboard. Let us make two small holes on either side of the cardboard piece. Then tie the thread to the two holes. Let us now twist the ends of the thread so that the cardboard swirls rapidly. What do you observe? Yes, when the rotations are sufficiently fast, the parrot is seen in the cage. That is, we see a single picture of parrot in a cage. Do you know the reason behind the observation of these two activities? Come, let us know about it. We see an object because the eye lens creates its image on the retina. The image is on the retina as long as the object is in front of us. The image disappears as soon as the object is taken away. However, this is not instantaneous. The impression of the image on the retina lasts for about 1/16th of a second. After the removal of the object, this is called persistence of vision. Thus, due to persistence of vision, there is an illusion of seeing the circle of light and of a single picture of the parrot in the cage. Motion pictures on television work on the principle of persistence of vision. In motion picture, photography of moving objects are taken as the interval of less than 1/10 second and projected on a screen at the same rate. Each picture is slightly different from the other. If this pictures taken by a movie camera is projected on the screen at the same rate, then the successive images cannot be distinguished as separate images and get blended into one another. But due to persistence of vision, we get the impression of observing the object in continuous motion. Come, let us now understand another interesting concept called perception of color. The retina in our eyes is made up of mainly light sensitive cells. These cells are shaped like a rod and like a cone. The rod like cells respond to intensity of the light and give information about the degree, the brightness or dimness of the object to the brain. The conical cells respond to the color and give information about the color of the object to the brain. The brain interprets the information received and we get the actual image of the object. Rod-like cells respond to faint light, but conical cells do not. Thus, we perceive color only in bright light. The conical cells can respond differently to red, green and blue color. When red color falls on the eyes, the cells responding to red light get excited more than those responding to the other colors and we get the sensation of red color. Some people do not possess conical cells responding to a certain colors. These person cannot recognize those colors or cannot distinguish between different colors. These persons are said to be color blind. Students, it means their eyesight is normal except for the inability to recognize different colors. Here the lesson is finished. Hope you all have understood the topic. Today we have studied apparent size of an image, uses of convex lenses, perception of color, persistence of vision. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.